Going over to the political part podcast, you have the FBI lied about crime stats. They're worse than we were told, which, I mean, in terms of news, saying that the FBI lied, well, that's not really news, but this is newer than many of the lies that they make in terms of, yeah, in terms of the lies of the FBI, that could probably fill several dictionary-length textbooks. Perhaps an entire perhaps an entire Encyclopedia Britannica, which also might be dating me because Lord knows I think they've been out of print for 10 plus years. But that was the OG search engine back in the day before we had the dial-up. The Encyclopedia Britannica. But I partially digress from the nostalgia. This comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, where she dives into the statistics, and she has a nice little infographic. Now, she says before the infographic, breaking, the FBI just quietly updated crime stats for 2022. Turns out it was missing thousands of crimes. The updated data shows that there are 80,029 more violent crimes in 2021. There are additional 1,699 murders. And sorry, I try to keep this again moderately family friendly. 7,780 instances of people being taken advantage of in the, well, not the bedroom, but traditionally in the bedroom. 33,439 robberies and 37,091 aggravated assaults. Jeez, and we'll pull up make the infographic ginormous over there. Yeah, it looks like in terms of the biggest crime revision, in terms of them having to update it, the biggest delta was the property crime rate. That increased by 198,015. Now, granted, in terms of severity, being morally vacuous and deplorable, that's not the worst one. Of course, property can be replaced, people and experiences cannot. But that seems to be statistically, that's the one of the biggest delta. The second biggest delta was larceny theft rate was 113,975. And then the third one is violent crime rate at 80,000, followed by motor theft at 54,000. Aggravated assault, 37,000. Robbery, 33,000. And keep in mind, I would argue this is also that's actually not even accurate. It's even lower than that because we've heard multiple times people from these crazy states and areas like San Francisco and New York City, well, they're not reporting crime anymore because they know if they call the police, nothing will happen. We see multiple street interviews where people will go and talk to the citizens there who, Lord knows why, I still live there, but they'll say, oh yeah, I called the police, 2 or 3 times for this specific type of a crime, and they just stop showing up. Or, I mean, in some cases, like Chicago and Minnesota, the police literally say we will not respond to certain of these crimes. So, yeah, if the police tell you multiple times they'll do nothing, it's a pretty big sign they don't care. And why would you call them again? So, and there are also places that simply say they're not giving data to the FBI. So yeah, even though they're revising this, I suspect it's actually even worse when it comes to the true statistics. Now that being said, it's still been pretty valid. Got 3 million views as well as 29,000 likes, which is also funny in terms of Tim Walz having these campaign videos where he says we can't go back to the last 4 years. Yes, Tim, we do agree on that sentiment. And interesting how every time the government lies, and again, this also happens when Republicans are in office, though we debate the statistics in terms of which one is more frequent, but interestingly enough, when there's always a lie or just a clerical error with the U.S. government, there is always an error in which they were giving themselves a more favorable light. Coincidence? No, absolutely not, obviously. Now going to the comments, again, got 29,000 likes. Now she also said the source was realclearinvestigations.com. It got 1,100 likes. One of the first comments coming from Chuck Costello saying, quote, "This is 1,000% straight out of 1984. They do this enough and they'll be able to rewrite history on the fly," getting 1.6 thousand likes, which, yep. Libs TikTok responded saying, "And these corrections only go in one way," getting 1,000 likes. True. It's, yeah. I just can't help but suspect they don't teach 1984 in public schools these days. They mainly teach gender identity, which is why maybe there's a 32-year low ACT score. But great job, teachers unions. You definitely deserve those raises you're asking for. Haha, that was sarcasm. But in all seriousness, 1984 is one of definitely the top 10 books ever written in history. I would be so bold to say that because of the important lessons learned you're supposed to come from it. Again, it's George Orwell's beautiful masterpiece. If you have more youngsters in the house, Animal Farm is still an exceptional book that gets the same morals across. However, it's a little bit shorter to read, a little easier to digest, more simpler vernacular. Now, going back to the main comment section, you also have Livercrap Media TM saying, quote, "The FBI," and it's a picture of the FBI and then Hunter Biden naked, staring at a wall of all his crimes. And he says, "See anything?" The FBI says, "Nope, not yet," which, yep, one of the biggest examples of injustice, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Arthur Eagleman also says the left has been lying about crime the whole time. Crime is up, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Again, take the moment to click that subscribe button I have a theory. It may very well assist my speaking ineptitudes. When I first started the show, I had like 2 subscribers. One was probably a family member, and my speaking was worse. It was terrible. I spoke even faster, believe it or not, than now, mostly monotone and stumbling over my words, worse than Joe Biden trying to climb upstairs. But as I slowly but surely gain more subscribers, I become more articulate in my speaking. Granted, some might say it's just modicum of improvement, but an improvement nevertheless. So my theory is, the more and more people click that button, the better I'll be able to speak, and someday make it through an entire episode perfectly, fluently, and just eloquently. Granted, some might say it's a tall order, a pie in the sky goal, but you have to aim high. So if you do me a favor and click that button and tell your friends, and shoot, tell your enemies. They may become your friends. Or they might be so irate because they don't like the show, they'll become your greater enemies, in which case, at least you poked the bear, I guess. But in all seriousness, if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. And go ahead and leave some star review of the Apple Store or the Spotify Store. Who knows? Might even get close to 5 stars one of these days. Heather 007 says the Democrats skew the statistics to plump up their non-existent record. What makes the non-believers think they won't do it at the ballot box? Getting 373 likes. Planet of Memes. They did not, in fact, respond in meme form. But nevertheless, this alleged Planet of Memes says, quote, the Biden-Harris administration cooks the books with jobs numbers, and now they're doing it with the crime statistics, the liberty media. That picture of a cat? Let me see here. Let me try to zoom in on that. This kind of emoji they're trying to use here, Mr. They didn't do a meme, but they did an emoji. Grasshoppers. I mean, you got a telescope, see the screen in front of me. That got 289 likes. But oh yeah, there's another thing I lied about. They said, oh yeah, all these jobs are created. Then they had to correct that, and of course, not as many jobs created. I also would argue, when it comes to employment statistics, government jobs should not count. Partially because most of them are redundant, not necessary, but also because, is that really generating more wealth and making our country better, or just creating more bureaucracy and unnecessary jobs that are the peak of inefficiency? And when you look at what jobs were created the most, double-digit percentages was the government jobs. Paul Zazupa also says, quote, it's just like the job statistics. It's always wrong in the direction to help Biden-Harris, getting 168 likes. Let's see. Oh, this is funny. Maria Isabella says, why wash, rinse, repeat. This picture of a, what is it, NPC guy looking sad. It says support woke, and it's the recycle sign. It says support woke culture, vote for woke politicians. Ugh, why did crime rate go up? Move to a new city, then support woke culture. So it's an endless circle, which as a wise man once said, don't California, not Texas. Because again, there's reasons everyone keeps moving here. And yeah, it's because you're coming from a failed state. Policies didn't work, the culture didn't work. And yet some people are so mentally vacuous they want to replicate it, which is highly illogical. Highly illogical. Now that little, got a fair amount of likes. I got 253 likes. I also have Red Pill Report said, great timing, FBI. Wait until David Muir fact checks Trump, then quietly slip the real data in. The FBI says a corrupt, sleazy organization getting 136 likes. Now, that'd be a funny statistic, or like a poll percentage. How many Americans support the FBI or say they're doing a good job? Yeah. JD Sharp says they lied about the crimes numbers to influence the election at the expense of the safety of Americans. Treason, again, getting 154 likes. Which, yeah. One would think someday someone in government be held accountable. Like, shouldn't they be fired for this? Shouldn't anyone be held accountable? Or though, maybe in most cases, like, at most, they'll probably get a paid leave of absence, like many government employees do when they are slapped on the wrist. So, definitely, oh yeah, another thing I lied about was, oh yeah, I'll never remember inflation. The U.S. Treasury, Janet Yellen was like, "Oh yeah, we don't think it'll be this bad if we do these actions." And then we accomplished record high hyperinflation. They asked her, what do you have to say for yourself? She goes, I know this would happen. And she wasn't fired. How that bird gal I guess she looks like a bird. How she still has a job is beyond me. Janet Yellen should be working at Walmart. No, that's actually that'd be too complicated for her, because at the cash register you have to use numbers and add. Well, I guess the computer does addition. We have to understand basic numbers and math. That is above her pay grade. What job would Janet Yellen be fit for? What job involves no use in numbers and very low intellect? Podcasting? Kind of joking. But let me know. What would her real job be? And let me know. Do you think, will the government ever give us accurate data ever? Certainly, it doesn't really seem to happen. They seem to keep lying to make themselves look better and better. Do you think they'll ever have accurate representation for the government? And are you surprised the FBI lied about the statistics yet again to make them look good? Let me know, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.